So today we're going to talk about a sensitive subject, which is especially for us Yamaha motorcycle owners, is the flashers. Yes, it's been a long time coming that I've been wanting to go over my flashers, or actually get rid of my flashers that is on my 2019 MT-09. So I have been waiting for a long time in order to get everything that I needed in order to do the actual flasher install, and this is why we're doing this video today. So, Rob, it's a Dyer thing. Let's go. So here we are now, and as you can see, I am just on nothing special other than my dining room table here as I'm preparing myself to get ready for the flasher install. You may notice or recognize these beast of a flashers. These are actually the original Yamaha flashers that come standard on pretty much all sport bikes, except for the newer particular models such as an MT-10. So anyways, these are going to be coming off. These are just as an extra set that I have, but just to show you, a lot of people would actually cut off the connector here and either splice into the wire and then use this as an adapter, or they would actually cut after that harness and then splice into their actual wiring harness, which is definitely a no-go. So you want to get rid of these tungsten light flashers and trying to go with something either a little bit more compact, even smaller in design, or even such item like this one here, which is actually a Yamaha accessory flasher, right? When doing that, because there's less resistance on an LED light, you tend to go into what they refer to as a hyper flash. So that means your actual flasher is flashing or blinking a lot faster. Anyways, in order to eliminate that, there are a couple of options out there. So one of the options, when you're buying these aftermarket or no-name brand flashers, you would have to kind of search out for a relay and then a resistor in order to reduce the hyper flash aspect. Through Yamaha products here in both Europe and in Canada and the US, so you get these ones from your dealerships, and these guys include a resistor here. So as you can see, unfortunately, the flasher and the resistor is almost the same size. Each flasher set would actually come with 2 resistors. So that means if you are installing all 4 flashers, as an FYI, these flashers don't have a full running light sequence on it. So that means either they're off or they're flashing with an on. So do bear in mind with most Yamaha products, your front flashers normally are on and then they blink, whereas these ones here will not be on, they only blink. So if you end up putting all 4 flashers on and then you got all these 4 resistors, which is now taking up a whole lot of room, you're still going to find that actually the flashing sequence of these is still quite fast. So you end up needing a total of 6 resistors. You're thinking like this on an R1 or a little sport bike, or any little bike for that fact, that you now got 6 of these resistors in order to make 4 of these flashers flash at a proper sequence. That's starting to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So ultimately, the best solution is going with a relay. So basically what this does is a flasher relay. You basically unplug the existing flasher relay and then you put this flasher relay in its place. This now will bring it back down to the speed of this regular flasher. Something like this only cost $4 off of AliExpress or eBay or Amazon, whatever you want to call it, which is super cheap. Other than, the only thing you got to do is you just got to wait for it to get delivered to you, right? In order to plug, as you can see, this kind of bullet connector onto your motorcycle, you don't want to be cutting into that and getting rid of this and so on and so forth. So there is a couple of companies out there, again through Amazon, AliExpress and eBay, that sell a flasher wire adapter, right? So basically that comes as a factory connector that will connect up to the harness. And then on this side here, as you can see, it's got the receiver for the bullet side connectors. You can see there's only 2 connectors here, and yet, well, there's 3 connectors here. Well, these guys already went up a step ahead and made it as 3 connectors, just due to the fact that some models have, like I said, running lights or daytime running sequence and not just a flasher. That's not a big deal, because once you actually get it installed or you find out what wire is not needed, basically you can put a pin in there and actually remove it, or if you want to take the lazy way out, you can just kind of cut it from there. There's no power that we're running to it, so you're not going to run into any issues of it contacting any metal portions of it. So you basically take this, you put this into the actual factory harness, you then take your flasher, you put your flasher onto that, and then you take your relay and you put that into the relay. Look how clean that is for one full setup, right? Versus having to get a flasher like this and then 2 resistors in order to make the same speed flashing. Clean, not clean. Clean, not clean. So anyways, I'm getting everything set up. As you can see, these are the flashers that I will be installing on the MT-09 for 2019. So anyways, that was the overview of the flashers itself. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get everything that I need together and head on downstairs with some tools and get the install. So I'll kind of give you the overview of the bike prior to the flashers installed, and then you can actually see the outcome of the flashers installed itself. You'll be able to see the speed, so we'll check out the speed, and again with the speed after we've installed the relay itself. So again, all I'm doing here is just installing these little guys with this relay and this wire connector adapter. Make it super clean, super easy. This way there's no troubles when there's any kind of future servicing of the bike itself, whereas when you're cutting and splicing and soldering and clipping and stuff, it's just, not only is it unprofessional and a pain in the butt, but at one time or eventually soon enough, you will have to access what you need, you know, the back or the front where there are the flashers, and that's just going to create a bit of a hiccup for you guys later on. So let's head on downstairs, get that done, and finally we can put an end to these big flasher NASA docking station of monster beastie things. Bye-bye. Okay, so now we're down in the garage here. As you can see, our super duper dungeon of a garage. We're just about to actually do the install of the flashers. So you can still see, like, I got the stock flashers here installed. So it's pretty much straightforward. No major tools are required in order to do so. So there's just the front covers that need to be taken off, and that uses an Allen key. And then from there you use a 10mm wrench just to remove this, so you can access this whole flasher portion here. And then from there you got the wires that are routing up. So you will take this cover off where you can have the quick access to that. And then the same concept here as well on this. In order to take these off, you just have these little covers here which are held in with Phillips screws. You take the Phillips screws off, now you'll be able to access the wires up in that. So we'll just take the seat off and then we'll be able to access the wires into there. So, which one's what?
MT-09.
The MT-09?
Yeah.
It's the big one.
This one?
Here. So yeah, so put it in, and without having to start it up. So here, let's go over the flasher sequence.
My hand is...
Do I need to dim the lights, put some music on for you to find it? Can you get it in?
No.
Can you get it in?
Okay.
Let's go.
Chill out, mate.
All right, turn it on. So like I was saying, once he figures out how to actually turn this on.
Turn it on.
From most Yamahas, you can see that the actual front flashers are running lights at the same time as they are flashers. So as you can see here from the speed, from the back ones there, it's either an on or an off, right? So a sequence of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So now turn it off. As you can see that these ones do stay on at all times, so they are kind of like running lights flashers. So now with the new accessory flashers that we're going to put on, we are going to lose that function. You ding dong. Anyways, power it down and we'll get this done installed. Okay, so for the most part, we've got the first portion of the flashers done here installed. As you can see, definitely much cleaner. So now we just got to finish off with the back portion here. So in regards to doing that, like I said, there's that little cover that you had to take off. And now the wires are routed up onto the top here. There's a little plate here that's the seat lock plate, which that's held on with just 4 little bolts. You take that plate off, then you'll be able to access the actual flasher wires. And then from the flasher wires, they just push down through, and then you just kind of basically route them out of here. As you can see how fairly easy that is. So, almost done for the most part. Remember what I was saying here. Let's turn this on and we can get the flashing sequence. As you can see now that I have installed LED flashers, we are gone into what we refer to as a hyper flash. So, I'll finish installing the last back flashers, and then from there we'll swap out the actual flasher relay, which will then bring it back down to standard flash mode, and you'll get the final look of everything. So hang in there. You guys are lucky because you get to do this through the hyperlapse of not having to sit around and do the boring install and actually just see what the outcome is. So
You're good. We're recording.
and you're probably very far. I probably look very small. I'm sure you
You
can get
do.
a whole lot closer. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, seriously. All right, so for the most part now we got everything done. As you can take a look here, Mr. Cameraman, help me out because you're about to get fired again.
Yeah. The camera.
Okay, so now for the most part, everything is completed, everything is done. I do have the relay that I do have to install. So just to give you the idea in regards to what we refer to as a hyper flash. So as you can see, they are going super fast. And for the most part, that is a normal procedure when you do install LED flashers. So let's get this installed here, which is a very straightforward, here's your flasher relay. Pop that out. I'll pop this in just so you can see super quick. Okay, so now we've put the relay on real quick here. So I've just did this. As you've seen, I removed it from the stock one, got this one on. Now let's go back to the flash mode. And there you go, guys. As you do have it as regular flashing speed. That's a $4 relay. Nothing to it. Anyways. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of It's a Dyer Thing and my simple install tip of the day, trick, or whatever you want to call it. Be safe, have fun, be good. If you have any comments, any suggestions, any questions, let me know, fire it down. I will respond to you all. Until next time, peace.